All right, short one, you guys. We're going to be talking about the inferior courts and the special courts. So the stuff that is below the Supreme Court that gets handled to make sure that the major stuff goes to the Supreme Court and only the major stuff. So there's federal judicial districts. So the U.S. and its territories are divided into judicial districts, with more populous states having more districts. That makes sense because you have a state like California with the largest population in the country is going to be having more cases than Idaho. There's more people to cause more crime or to have more disputes in civil court. So these cases are usually heard by only one judge, though in rare cases they're heard by more. So over 80% of cases in the federal court system get heard by the federal judicial districts. This, like I was saying before, helps make things easier for the Supreme Court. The Supreme Court only handles what the Supreme Court needs to. So there's two types of cases that federal judicial districts handle. There's criminal and civil. Criminal cases are somebody commits a major crime. Somebody commits robbery. That's a crime. That's a criminal case. Civil cases are non-criminal cases, like money matters. So it could be, or property matters. Somebody let something loose on my property, so now I'm suing them. That's a civil case. So we're going to pan out to something bigger. So there's the districts, which we just talked about, and districts listen to a larger thing called a circuit. So the districts in California are part of a larger circuit with the whole West Coast. So they help to alleviate, again, the amount of cases the Supreme Court gets. So larger stuff that it's smaller, so smaller stuff gets heard by the districts, and then it gets larger, it goes to the circuits. So, and every circuit has a court of appeals. So they don't like something that was said in their decision in the district or the circuit, then they go, all right, I want the Court of Appeals for the Judicial Circuit 9 to hear what I have to say. And then, so the Court of Appeals for Circuit 9 handles it instead of it going to the Supreme Court. And so the Federal Court of Appeals only has appellate jurisdiction. That makes sense. It's a Federal Court of Appeals. And then there finally just are special courts. So this is this is specialized things. So things like military matters or trade matters or taxes. That's what special courts handle. So here are a few of them. There's the Court of International Trade, which tries all cases that come out of the country's customs and trade laws. So think of trading embargoes, tariffs, stuff like that. Military courts handle disciplinary courts that handle things for different parts of the armed forces. So there's going to be a different military court for the Navy than there is the Air Force because they know what they're talking about. You don't want somebody who is a Navy officer judging an Air Force officer, and that's not just because they have rivalries. That's because they know what they're talking about in their area. And they want to keep it within the military. This is where you get stuff like court-martialing. Then there's Court of Federal Claims. They handle claims for damages brought up against the federal government. You cannot sue the federal government. However, you can bring them to court in the Court of Federal Claims for things you think they did wrong to you. So suing for damages, money usually. So then there's the United States Tax Court. They handle disputes over tax laws. And that is it. Okay, thanks everyone.